Perhaps you dream about big open skies, majestic mountains, and rivers full of fish.
Fly fishing is a pretty big percentage of my thoughts when I'm down here, that's for sure. Let's go fishing.
Or maybe it's quiet country living in a privileged lakeside setting.
The water right now is pretty gray, but there are times of the year it looks turquoise like the beaches of Cancun.
This jazz musician prefers a place where she can slow down, get creative, and make some music.
Look what they done. They tore down the trees on Sunday.
On the window of my house it says Rita's Parlor, and that's where the music happens.
I'm Larry.
And I'm Morna.
And this is our retreat.
Want to get away from it all? Far, far away? Welcome to Trout Wrangler Lodge, a private retreat designed for the land it inhabits. Majestic mountains, sweeping skies, and miles of trout-filled rivers. For Larry and Morna, this weekend escape from the city has everything they could hope for.
Well, the house is located on 10 acres. The mountains in the background for skiing and snowboarding, and the river here for fly fishing, which is my passion. And then there's a beautiful highway that runs east and west along here for taking my bike out for a ride and getting away from it all.
It's big open sky. I love the sunrises and the sunsets. I love the mountains. I love the sound of the water. I love it when the train goes by.
But of course for Larry, it's all about the fishing.
Fly fishing is a pretty big percentage of my thoughts when I'm down here, that's for sure. I bought this property and built this house because it's in one of the best fly fishing areas in North America. I have a world-class fishery right here in front of me. This river is renowned for rainbow trout and brown trout. I'd fish it every day if I could.
But even when Larry is not physically in the house, his passion for all things fishing definitely is.
So, welcome to Trout Wrangler Lodge. This is the grand room right here, and as you can see, there's a few fish in here. These fly rods here are actually my grandfather's, and I think I got the bug from him, but unfortunately he'd passed away before he had a chance to show me all the ins and outs of the sport. So I had to learn by trial and error. Not to say that I'm not a very good fisherman, there's probably more fish here in the house than there is me bringing it home from the river.
Even the home's air conditioning system is a little fishy, with blades custom made by Larry.
A lot of people notice them when they come in and think that it's really different, especially when they see that they're all connected by a conveyor belt. Really opens your eyes and going, whoa, that's different, which is the whole idea behind the house. It's different.
Even details like the hand-carved coffee table with native depictions of fish and whales and the fireplace are anything but typical.
These are actually masonry heaters. They're not fireplaces. You can cook pizzas in here, so it's actually pretty handy. The best part is when there's a fire going all winter that you can put a crock pot in here and have a nice stew or a chicken dinner, and it's delicious and the house smells just great.
Larry purchased the property in 2002, but it took him almost 7 years to make the decision to build, and after that, it all came together.
When I bought the property, an architect friend of mine and I came down here. He sat there on this property, right in this spot actually, when it was all grass, and made a rough sketch of what he thought the house was going to look like, and the finished product is practically exactly what he drew that day. I think one of the most unique things about the house is the fact that it's a shed design rather than your standard house design, and it faces south to utilize the sun and get the solar passive heat out of the house itself.
Not to mention the cantilevered beams that hold up the massive deck.
Well, you know what they say about the size of a guy's deck. Actually, this deck, I love this part of the house, and it's actually bigger than the inside of the house. The deck itself is 13 feet wide and 75 feet long, and it can hold up to 200 people if we put each other on our shoulders.
Supporting the weight of that deck presented a massive challenge in the design and construction phase.
So one of the challenges of building this was to cantilever this 1,000 square foot deck off of the house. According to the regulations, you can't have a post in the ground if it's closer than a certain setback from the top of the bank. So not only is it very aesthetically pleasing to have this cantilever deck, but it's also part of the construction phase that I had to go through in order to get the deck as close to the river as possible. On the north side here, we cantilevered the entrance to the front of the house the opposite direction. These timbers are all recycled from a World War II Air Force hangar, and these washers and these nuts are the original washers from 1939 or 40s. I had new rods made, but we used the same nuts and washers, and they all fit in with the system.
If these beams could talk,
A lot of pilots were taught how to fly Hercules bombers underneath these timbers, so it's really interesting.
I came in after this was finished.
It's a good thing, because with all the stress I went through building this, you probably wouldn't be with me right now if she came in while I was building it, that's for sure.
When I came into the process, the house was finished, it was furnished, and I just had to move in.
Yeah. And move in she did.
And welcome to my sanctuary. This is the master bedroom, and I just love it. I've got a great big walk-in closet, and the view from the bed is spectacular. You overlook the valley, you can watch the sunrise, it's amazing. But the best part, follow me. So this is my favorite spot in the house. I just love it. There's the beautiful soaker tub. I spend a lot of my time in there, looking out over the vistas. It's just great reading a book. Sometimes I do watch Larry fishing from down here. I watch him work his way down the river. Happy watching him from the comfort of the tub. My 9-to-5 job is as a business analyst, and when I come here, I like to cook and bake, and it's just a wonderful place to come to forget about the rest of life.
So, this is the tackle room. I have various rods here that I use for different types of fishing, depending on what we're going to do for the day. Some of the different bugs that we would use. This is the pack that I'd wear when I'm fishing, and of course every fly fisherman wouldn't be safe without their proverbial bear spray. Never had to use it. It's like insurance. You buy it and hopefully you never open it up. Well, let's just see what's going to happen. Gotta have my lucky hat. Yeah, let's go fishing.
I think that's an interesting thing.
This one piece will make 52 layers.
Watch on mobile devices or the big screen. All for free. No subscription required.
The water's a little muddy right now, so what we're going to do is put on a streamer, and hopefully, with any luck, something will see it, and we'll be having dinner. The whole idea behind fly fishing is that you want to imitate the bugs that are actually in the water. That's how it works in the textbook. You want to keep your wrist stiff, and you want to wait for the line to tail out behind you so that you can load the line with the rod and send it forward. When you're fly fishing, it's the weight of the line that throws the fly out. It's very relaxing, it's enjoyable. I don't think about a lot other than what's going to maybe hit my line and who I owe money to. Whether you catch fish or not, it beats working.
If I could use one word to describe how I feel when I come here, it's serene.
Having this house here allows me to relax and just relieve some of the stress of day-to-day life. It's pretty phenomenal that how things just drain out of you and you can get back to reality. I love it here. I love Morna, I love the house, I love my life, and I love the river.
Jim and Ann Waite love the fact that their summer retreat sits on protected parkland, a privilege reserved for the very few.
My family settled in Prince Edward County in the 1780s, so my roots run very deep. We get to be here because this house predates the park.
I just pinch myself because I can't believe that I'm living within a park.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Ann.
And this is our retreat.
Jim and Ann Waite are living the life most people only dream of. They spend their winters down south and their summers here.
For the last few years, we have actually become snowbirds, And we're in Florida from, middle of the fall till late spring. So we look forward to coming back here and really, really appreciate and enjoy the nature.
And there's plenty of nature here, guaranteed. You see, Jim and Ann's retreat is in a very unique location. It sits inside the Sandbanks Provincial Park. 1,000 acres of protected parkland on the shores of Lake Ontario, one of the largest lakes in North America.
The Sandbanks Provincial Park and the huge dune system is a real wonder of the world. There is very few places in the planet that you can find these immense dune systems that run for several miles. There is no properties for sale that you can purchase and build another home on it, so it's really very unique, and it's a treasure to have something like this here. We get to be here because this house predates the park. My family settled in Prince Edward County in the 1780s, so my roots run very deep. Let me show you the inside of the house. This, of course, is the most important room in the house. It's our country kitchen. This is where most of the magic happens. And this is our butcher block, straight from a butcher that had gone into business a few years ago. This is a 150-year-old wood. This was boards that were on the inside of the barn. We tore the barn down, I saved the wood. Even though this countertop isn't original to the house, the wood is original to the property.
The kitchen and dining room bridge two very different ends of the house. The games room in the back is where Jim and his son used to battle it out on the pool table. Now that they're on their own, Jim and Ann prefer a different kind of game, but they haven't lost their competitive nature.
To show how competitive we are, and I think this may have been Ann's idea, we keep track of every game that's played.
Since we've met.
Since we've met. And so we know exactly who won what game on what date. There's been over 400 or 500 games played over the last 4 years, and right now I am ahead by 10 games.
Only 10. Won't last. It won't last. Now this is the room where we spend almost all our time in. This is the room where we play games, we sit by the fire, we watch the water, we come back and talk about the day, have our coffee, drink our wine, and we love it in here.
Another thing Ann loves is books, and a lot of them.
This is my favorite spot in the house. I kick back, take my book, look at the water, and I start reading, and it's the greatest place in the world. In every sense of the word, this is my retreat. This is the perfect spot. I get away from it all.
So, does it ever get too quiet?
Never.
Never.
It's never too quiet here.
It's never too quiet here. It's wonderful. Hey, that's the beach. All that beautiful beach over there. That's probably over a mile of beautiful sand beach, and that's part of the Sandbanks Provincial Park.
Right now it's been overcast, but the water changes all the time. The water right now is pretty gray, but there are times of the year it looks turquoise like the beaches of Cancun.
Ann really enjoys kayaking. We have a kayak. We haven't got it out yet. It's still spring, but we're actually maybe get it out later today. Ann loves to kayak.
I would love to get it out.
With Ann out for a midday paddle, let's hear more about this historic house.
Well, I'm the third owner of the home, and we don't know precisely when the home was built, but we believe it to be around 1840. This was the original section of the home, and in 1991, put on the big addition on the back. This house was in pretty tough shape when I bought it. It was just probably a tenant house within the larger farm properties that are in this area. It had been lived in by a commercial fisherman and his wife. The home was in very poor condition. It needed to be totally renovated, and it took a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of effort. It was absolutely worth doing it. We're so fortunate. I'm really pleased with the way it turned out.
Does the house have a name?
There's 3 willow trees on the property, and Ann likes to think that it should be called 3 Willows.
Well, that works.
It's a wonderful place to be. We're really very fortunate to be within the park and to enjoy these wonderful views, to enjoy the nature, all that comes with it, all the quiet.
We can just enjoy it all summer long, and it's just I have to pinch myself to believe this has happened to me. When I come home and I pass the Sandbanks Provincial Park, I just pinch myself because I can't believe that I'm living within a park.
There isn't a day that goes by where someone doesn't park out on the road out here. They set up and they take this great photo of the beautiful beach across there, and I think, my gosh, We're so fortunate we get to look at it every day.
Look what they done.
For this musician and performer, getting away from her every day is what makes her getaway so important.
I have a love-hate relationship with the city, but I really would go mad if I didn't have this place.
They tore down the trees on Sunday.
My name is Rita, and that red house is my retreat.
For jazz musician Rita DeGant, music is her life.
I do music for a living. That's all I do. I'd say the two things that make me most happy in life are music and nature.
So for this performer, writer, and music teacher, having a retreat to go to escape her hectic city life is a must.
I have a love-hate relationship with the city, but I really would go mad if I didn't have this place. But I don't want to say that. I sound like, like Virginia Woolf or something.
Hardly. Who wouldn't agree that time spent in surroundings like this is a great thing?
Nature is my greatest inspiration, and I need that. That's my gas to write. So it's pivotal that I come out here and be surrounded by nature. I love my house's location. It's on a main road, but it's on the harbor. There's 400 acres of conservation area, a 3-minute walk away. So I'm like surrounded by nature, but I'm in the town. And I have space here. In the city, my digs are 380 square feet. So I had to take out the refrigerator and the stove so that I could put a piano in there. So I don't have a refrigerator or a stove because piano's way more important.
However, this house has plenty of room for both a piano and a kitchen. Rita bought it over a decade ago and fixed it up herself. The house dates back to 1860 and needed a lot of work. Now, one half of the house is her retreat, and the other half she rents out as the Harbor Breeze Guest House.
You can actually see my house. On the window of my house it says Rita's Parlor, and that's where the music happens. And this is just a really beautiful, peaceful place to get away, but not too far away, and just be able to chill and write some lyrics. So I'm writing some lyrics for the house concert tonight for a song called They Tore Down the Trees on Sunday.
Did she just say house concert?
Look what they done. They tore down the trees on Sunday. Look what they done. To be continued.
Yes, to be continued. You see, Rita's house is not just a retreat. It's also a concert venue of sorts. But first, let's take a look inside.
This is Rita's Parlor. So this is where it all happens, where the house concerts happen, where the musicians are showing up to give our house concert. Here's my cantankerous old piano from New Orleans. This piano is in pretty bad shape. It's destined to be replaced, which kind of makes me sad because it was dragged all the way up from New Orleans. There's probably a lot of history and stories in this piano. I have the mirrors around the place just to make it look a little bit bigger, but there's a bigger purpose to why I have the mirrors. It's so that I can sit at the piano and I can see the audience when I'm singing, and they can see me, so we make Google eyes in the mirror there.
And along with lots of memorabilia from Rita's past concerts, a most treasured photo of one of her jazz idols.
This is the great Anita O'Day and myself backstage in New York. Well, I don't think I could feel my fingers and my toes that day.
So what about the rest of the room? What makes it parlor-esque?
All my furniture is either gotten off the street or from county traders. It's pretty eclectic, and I knew that I wanted to create a kind of decadent environment, but that things didn't necessarily have to match. I don't want anything that I have to take care of. That's part of the purpose of this retreat and my happiness, is that I can hang a little bit loose. So it's loose. When I get something, I just throw it up. I just throw it in there. It's not planned, it's not color coordinated. It's just a bunch of little things that make me happy.
To complete the musical tour, an old keyboard and her father's vintage Victrola from the 1930s.
Hey kids, turn down that music!
It's all designed with the music in mind. Rita's Parlor is the eclectic retreat of jazz singer Rita DeGant, a place for her to relax, compose music, and entertain friends.
This piece of furniture is called the Diva Divan. and people like to lounge on the diva divan when they're listening to the music. I got the diva divan because it had been tossed out of a billiard hall. I put it on top of my truck and drove it here.
Of course you did. And over in the kitchen, more examples of Rita's fuss-free attitude.
So this is where I do all the cooking. I'm allergic to appliances, so I do all my cooking on this little hot plate here. I've cooked for 30 people, and just a little mini fridge. And tonight, what we got going here that's been 2 days in the making is good old traditional Italian polenta.
When Rita isn't in her parlor making music, she heads to the second floor, which she describes as a sanctuary unto itself.
The second floor is very peaceful, cool colors, spacious, uncluttered. Two worlds. So if I'm not at the piano, I'm usually in this room. This is my bedroom. And I love it. It's my cave. I even close this door even if I'm completely alone. And I just do a lot of thinking in here. The two floors are kind of like the two sides of me. There's the entertainer, the performer, that's first floor, and then the second floor is just the person who likes things humble and simple.
So, back to the first floor then, because Rita the performer is about to take the stage. But first, a quick costume change.
And now it's time for the party to begin. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
And the world goes round and round, you see, and the world goes round and round.
I couldn't just live in the city. This place is a large part of my happiness.
Look what they done. They tore down the trees on Sunday. Look what they done. They knew damn well not to wait until Monday.
It's my dream. I love doing Rita's parlor.
Until Monday.